These are all the supplements I take as an Olympic runner. Let's go through them all. These ones are for the gym. During my gym workouts, the thing is, I create a lot of micro tears in my muscles. I create inflammation in my tendons, etc. So it's super important to repair my body afterwards. So what do I need? Especially proteins, but also carbs, because I'm an endurance athlete. I still have to train after that. For my tendons, this has been a lifesaver. This is collagen. Every runner has issues, almost every runner, with the Achilles tendons. Let me show you here. And it's often inflamed. And a way to solve it is by doing heavy exercise with a lot of weights. And then I take this 1 hour 30 before. So it is already in my bloodstream when I do the exercises. So it can immediately be absorbed by the areas that need it, like my Achilles tendons. Collagen is really literally the molecule our tendons are made of, so super useful for recovery. Creatine, as you can see, I didn't unpack it yet. I only use it during my aerobic base season. It's very useful to really maximize power output during strength exercises. However, a drawback for creatine is that we gain weight because it leads to more water retention in the body, if I'm not mistaken. And so right now I'm in competition season, so I cut the creatine out of my diet. I only take it during my base season. Then, classical ones, these are proteins, super important. I either use them like powder into my big bottle, but sometimes I just don't want to drink this big bottle yet because I have already too much fluid in other bottles. And then what's super useful are these little whey shots. These are just like 6D made shots with 20 grams of protein in one of these little flasks. And then I just like chuck it like I used to do during partying, like chuck. In one scoop or system units, you already got 20 grams of protein. So when I drink one shot, I got 20 grams. When I put one scoop, I got 20 grams. If I want 40, I drink 2 shots. I take 2 scoops. On big training days, sometimes I mix gym with a lot of training volume. Then I take not the whey, but I take the recovery shake, because the recovery shake is a mix of carbs and proteins. So it got everything I needed as an endurance athlete. So if I want to get 20 grams of protein with this one, I have to take not 1 scoop, but 2 scoops. But in addition, I have 60 grams of carbs with 2 scoops or system units. What do I take on a race day to maximize my output to run a super fast time? I'm an Olympic 5K runner, and right now I'm trying to qualify for a World Championships. My personal best in the 5 kilometers is 13 minutes and 3 seconds. And I have to aim for 13 minutes and 1 second. It's only 2 seconds away, which seems nothing, but it's quite difficult. But as you see, these are the small percentages I have to look for. And yeah, if I have to look for small percentages, I'm looking for the small performance gains, and I find them in some very special supplements. Let's go through my sports supplements chronologically before my race. 1 week before the race, I'm starting with these ones. These are nitrate shots. It's actually beetroot extract, but really concentrated. Is these little things. Concentrated beetroot juice contains nitrate. Nitrate will actually dilate the blood vessels, and dilated blood vessels will allow for more blood flow, and so more oxygen delivery to my muscles. More oxygen delivery means better endurance. The 5K is an endurance event mainly, so this will improve my endurance. There exist different protocols to take it. I start by taking it 7 days before my race, 1 to 2 shots per day. Oh no! I forgot something. Actually, beta-alanine starts way before 1 week before the race. This starts like 3 months before the race, which is crazy. At the end of the race, you feel that your muscles are getting sore, they don't move quite well. It's often also due to the acidity that's building up into the bloodstream and the muscles, and this acidity really decreases the performance, and there exist supplements to really buffer this acidity, like decrease it into the muscles and in the bloodstream. This buffers or lowers the acidity in my bloodstream, this lowers it into my muscles. But I have to take it already a cure of 2 to 6 pills per day, starting 3 months before my race. It's kind of overkill, but really I'm looking to maximize my performance. So beta-alanine, as you can see, like it's almost empty because I really take it. These are little pills. I take 2 to 6 ones every day, 3 months period before the race. And it decreases the acidity into my muscles specifically. Then I'm getting to the race. 3 hours before the race, I'm taking these ones. These are sodium bicarbonate. You find it in the kitchen as well to cook with it, but we as athletes take it sometimes here in pills to really decrease this acidity into the bloodstream during the race. And so at the end of the race, when I feel my legs are getting completely lactic or acid, this one will act on it and say, no, you can even go further. And so that's where I find the small percentages. What's the protocol of this? I actually tested it in a lab because when I take it, there will be a peak value in the blood, and I want to time this peak value exactly when I race, because I race in a 15-minute time window, which is pretty short. For me personally, I have to take it 2 hours and 45 before my race to have my peak value during my race. It's generally recommended to do it between 3 hours to 2 hours before you race, and then you're pretty sure to be around your peak value in your bloodstream during the race. So I had the graph, and you can see that when I take it, it goes steep uphill, and then I get my peak, and the decrease of bicarb I think is pretty slow. So it can stay in the bloodstream for 2-3 hours or 4 hours, quite long. But as soon as you get lactic or acid into your body, it will decrease pretty sharply, because then it acts on the acid and then it decreases. Now I'm approaching the race and I need caffeine. Caffeine is a pretty universal supplement. I take it into chewing gums, or like here it's called like caffeine gums. Every gum contains 75 milligrams of caffeine. I'm a caffeine freak, so I take 4 of them. And they get into my blood about 15 minutes after I start chewing on them. So I take 2 ones like 45 minutes before my race, then 1 30 minutes before, and 1 15 minutes before my race. That's how I do it. If you're not used to taking caffeine, sometimes 1 chew is already more than enough. So yeah, as you know, I'm a caffeine freak, so I take 4 of them. Then, cherry juice. Have you seen Tour de France athletes between their races already taking cherry juice? This can be quite useful for recovery. It's actually full of antioxidants. Antioxidants is what enhances your recovery. And this one have to be taken actually in a cure 7 days before the race, about 7 days, to really build up, there's a fly, to really build up an antioxidant capacity. Basically, you build up big antioxidant sink or capacity into the body. And for me, it's useful at the World Championship when I have a semi-final and a final. I run my semi-final, and then I have to recover to run my final 2 days later. And with this antioxidant capacity into my body is ready to rock and roll immediately after my semi-final and to recover much faster for my final. And that's where cherry juice comes in. Double threshold days. These are my big training days with a lot of volume, about 30 kilometers of running. So I'm completely burning through my calories and I need to replenish them. First, carbs, carbohydrates, and secondly, also I'm losing a lot of sweat. I need to replenish my electrolytes, and that's where all these supplements come in. So let's go through them quite quickly. When I need carbs, I can take them in many different forms, either in a powder like sports drink, which I put into my drinking bottle, or I can choose for gels. If I'm tired of taking sports gels, I take sports chews, or like nougats or sports cakes. So there are many different options. When I'm tired of one, I take the other. Now, when I take carbs, they exist in different ratios from glucose to fructose. When I take my sports drink, I take a 2-to-1 ratio from glucose to fructose. 1 system unit or 1 scoop of my sports drink is 30 grams of carbs. That means 20 grams of glucose, 10 grams of fructose. Now, for very long efforts where I really need even more carbs, I can switch from the sports drink to the ultra drink. I don't have the ultra drink in powder right now, but luckily I have it in gels. And instead of 30 grams of carbs, it contains 45 grams, which is a lot. So one system unit or one scoop of not the sports drink but ultra drink in powder contains 45 grams, or one gel contains 45 grams. And then what's super useful, sometimes I want to mix caffeine with electrolytes and with carbs, and then there are some gels that contains and caffeine and carbs, like this one. This one contains and electrolytes and caffeine and carbs, which is super useful. There are some sport shoes like the grapefruit. This contains carbs and caffeine. Then there is like the sport shoe here, contains carbs and electrolytes, no caffeine. Super useful about this one. The sport shoe lime has a salty taste. When I'm completely tired of having too much sugary taste into my mouth, I take this one because it has a salty taste. So as you see, man, I'm so lucky to have 6D Sports Nutrition as my partner because I can switch to so many different useful options. And yeah, personally, I think they're the best sports supplement brands in the world. It seems quite advertising, but just so you know, I will only partner up with the brands I think are the best ones. And I have gotten the last 3 years a lot of propositions from other brands, like sports supplement brands that wanted to work with me. I told them, no, I only want 6D Sport Nutrition. And so since 6 months, I'm working with them. Okay, finally, there is then also the Hydro Ores, which is purely electrolytes without carbs. I take this one on hot days or big training days. I put them into my bottle. Finally, some other special supplements I take every day or on special occasions. First, vitamin D. Of course, super important for the bone strength, and it also has other advantages for runners. So I take about 3 drops a day, which is about 3,600 UI of vitamin D every day. Omega-3, of course, super important as well. Some people take 1 dose. I take 2 doses every day because I saw in my true blood analysis that I need higher doses of omega-3. Iron, super important for runners or endurance athletes going to altitude. So I go to altitude training camp to create more red blood cells. So I use this iron supplementation almost every day at altitude. Finally, what the hell is sports ice? Sports ice is basically a mix of electrolytes and carbs, but in the form of kind of an ice cream. So I put it into the freezer. Now it's super mushy, or how do you call it? But once I put it in the freezer, the sports ice gets super hard. And then I use it, for example, before a hot race when I want to cool down my internal core body temperature, or after a super warm workout where I do heat adaptations and I just need to cool off afterwards, but I need carbs. Instead of taking carbs in hot water or normal water, I take my carbs as kind of an ice cream with the sports ice. Thanks everyone for watching everything I take in a day. I hope that's interesting for you. If you think there are other supplements I should try, tell them in the comments. I already tried other supplements that didn't work for me, but I'm always open for your recommendations. Or if you have some questions about all the ones I use, also put them in the comments. I will try to respond to them. However, I don't respond a lot, so sorry for that. But just so you know, I still love you. Thanks everyone for watching. See you in the next video. Ciao. Who am I? What am I looking for? Why am I so badass? Oh, never mind. I'm getting closer. I can feel it. I can smell it.
Well, yeah, it's fine. If you got the time.
This is it! My purpose! Pull out your phone, click the link in bio to my training program, and let's smash your next running goal together.